Howdy folks, Mark Serbu, gun designer, gun nut. It's probably going to be background noise today because it's raining and the building has a metal roof. So, Christmas in August. What do you think of this? Well, you don't know yet. There we go. Look familiar? Now, what we've got here, in case you didn't notice in the title, is an MG42. But what's cool is, you know, I should just take all this crap out of here. What's cool and not so cool is this stuff is all brand new. I mean, my God. Can you imagine making a whole mess of machine guns? These were made back in 68, 69. Can you imagine making all those and then just having them sitting around for 50, 60 years and just screw it and then chop them all up and sell them for scrap? Oh my God. But that's how it goes. Okay. So here we are. Bipod, who cares? Now, the main thing about the MG42, yeah, you can read up on it, watch videos on it. There's tons of stuff out there. Hell, I've got an old video on it, which of course isn't on YouTube anymore since I was firing it full auto. But yeah, there's a lot of history to the gun, but I'm looking at it from a gun designer standpoint, of course, and man, what an achievement. I mean, in 1942, you know, they started working on it before that, but to come up with this level of stamping is like, wow, just it's a work of art. Again, you know, I just did a video yesterday on stamped guns and took all this time and uploaded and everything, and YouTube said demonetized. So here I am again, and this one's probably going to come out before the other ones, but whatever. Stamped sheet metal guns. I'm not positive, but I think the Germans were the first to come out with the idea of stamping these, and they went all out. It's incredible, and you know, it's funny because this is a parts kit, obviously, so hopefully I won't get demonetized because no gun here yet. But man, look at that. That is just like, holy crap. Got my other little camera off to the side here. For those of you who know the MG42, this is actually the 49 slash, I don't know. You know, it says it somewhere. Can I cheat? Where are you? No, here we go. It's the MG42 slash 59, and it's actually in 308 caliber or 7.62 NATO, as opposed to the original, which was 8mm, 8x57. But what is really amazing, and I didn't know this for the longest time, is first of all, I mean, these are crazy contours to have stamped to begin with. I mean, how on earth do you stamp something and get a shape like that? You know, they went up as far as this. You can tell this was a separate machined piece that was welded on here, but just coming up to here with these curves and contours, it's baffling. And one thing I never knew until I started looking at it is there's actually a seam along the side here. Pretty sure it's this side. Yeah, this side opposite the where you can see the barrel, and it's actually welded here. So it was all folded up, and this is the last side, and then they just welded along here. And I don't know what the hell kind of welding they had in 1942, but they didn't have laser welders. I don't think they had TIG. Not sure, but the amazing thing is they went afterwards and faced all this off, machined all these little ovals, and even went around and chamfered everything. So it's incredibly hard to tell that there's welding in there. Let's see if you can look in there. It does not look like it's welded, and to me it's hard to imagine because these things are being cranked out fast and in large quantities because there's a war on. Usually wartime stuff is known for being not shoddy, but definitely they don't care about the looks anywhere near as much as a commercial product. But I know, I guess there's that pride of workmanship. But anyway, some of the interesting things about the MG42 are this top cover assembly. The way they do the top cover, and this is called the feed lever, and this is called a shuttle feed. This is the type of belt feed this is. The bolt, as you can see, when it runs back and forth, it has this, you know, some of them actually have a little bearing on here. This is just a piece of hardened steel, plated maybe, but it runs back and forth, and as this is moving straight back and forth in its channel, this feed lever moves back and forth. And what the Germans did before anyone else, as far as I know, is they had it push halfway with each motion. So when you're going back, when the bolt's coming back, it pushes halfway, and when it's going forward, it pushes the other. Like you can see, it's got an outer and an inner set of feed pawls, as they call these. This has been the same. Like if you look at an M240 or an M249, they're virtually the same as this. So they came up with this very modern way of doing this a long time ago. Yeah, just crazy. And the fact that this is brand new, basically doesn't even have any scratches on it. It's like, wow. Just all these guns, they just, like you said, they just torched them all up after not even using them. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, this is, oh, so one funny thing, funny, not so funny, if you look at an M60, it doesn't have two sets of feed pawls. It just has one. It only moves the belt on the rearward stroke of the bolt. And same with the Stoner 63. And it is simpler to do it that way, but you end up moving the whole belt. You know, you move one whole cartridge each time the bolt goes back, as opposed to moving halfway and then halfway. So the belt is a lot jerkier with an M60 or a Stoner 63 or something like that. I haven't looked at that many different belt feds, so I can't tell you if there are a bunch of other ones that do one way or the other. But this is a very modern way to do it, and they came up with it a long time ago. That's very impressive. Now, obviously, this is going to be a finished gun one of these days, and there's a guy out there who's kind of like the guru of MG42s, Jared Lumen. He's right over in, not Winter Haven, but yeah, Winter Haven, basically. Jared, you want to comment? Anyway, he makes a really nice fixture that you use to hold all these pieces together, but I want to try something a little different, because why not? And it's kind of fun because you can see how all this stuff fits together. And yeah. Okay, this is the right side. This is the right side. So this is how this goes. And this is a very nicely machined and hardened piece that slips in here. And of course, you got to get it in the right orientation and all that. But interesting to me is they have a bump here that acts as a stop for this part. And which way does it go? This? Oh, it actually goes in this way. And I could do this fine if I wasn't sitting here on camera with you folks. But anyway, this goes in, and this little bump they pressed in here acts as a stop. But they actually have a little bit of a machine slot there to face that off just perfectly, because this is crucial. This is what holds the barrel, the rear end of the barrel, and this is what everything locks up into. Well, it locks into the barrel, but this has to hold it in the right position. Anyway, neat stuff. And what I'm going to do with the lining this up is put these rails in, and it's kind of cool. These rails are, you know, they take them out before they torch the hell out of everything. That's nice of them. So what I'm doing with this, it fits into a little slot here. Now, I've got something that I'm sure some of you will know, recognize what they are. Probably not everybody. So who knows what this is called? Let me know in the comments if you know what it is, and further let me know if you've actually used them before, because they are, well, they're pretty handy, but they're also a pain in the butt. Well, it's not too bad. I mean, what's nice is once you get these in here, okay, everybody put in the comments what it is. Did you guess? You're not going to guess there. They're called Clecos. And anyone who's ever worked on like really serious body work on a car, or anyone who's ever built an airplane or done work on an airplane on the sheet metal part, you have probably run across a Cleco before. So, and look at that. They're really cool, because this expands them, and it's spring loaded, and this, you can see how this and it kind of gets, you know, the diameter reduces, and once it goes through the hole, once the spring pulls it back out, it expands, so it holds everything nice and snug. I mean, that's very snug right there. So let's put the other side in. Uh-oh. I actually stuck in this this other piece here. Also brand new. That's not going to be in there when I weld it, of course. All right, so yeah, these Clecos come in different diameters, and I guess different. The only ones I've ever seen, my buddy Mike is the one I got these from, and I don't own any, and I don't own Cleco pliers. He has all this stuff. He's building his own airplane. I borrowed his before when I had to do a little bit of sheet metal work on my plane when a little hinge broke off. But I suspect they come in all kinds of different styles, but these are the only kinds I've ever seen. And this, I've seen 3 different diameters. But anyway, look at that. That is stout. I mean, that's not going anywhere. And it's cool because you can see exactly what was torched away. So no wondering, oh my God, how much metal is missing. And for me, of course, I'm going to be filling this up with some pieces before I go and just weld across there. You can do that, and one of these days I'm going to make a video of why that's not the greatest idea in the world. But anyway, so here's how this all goes. Now, oh, well, unfortunately, you can't just go shove it in there because the Clecos stick out and limit its travel a little bit. Okay, look what magically appeared. Wow, and this is an actual World War II gun that was torched up and then re-welded. And you know, you don't want to think about what this gun has seen and what it's done. You know, who knows? But you know, that's war. You know, it's kind of shitty and horrible, and bad things happen to everybody, not just bad people. So it's why we try to avoid it. Yeah, says me in the gun business. But it's kind of cool. I'm going to show you. I'm going to try to show you inside. Look at that. Can you imagine coming up with that barrel change mechanism? I mean, it's like, wow. Look, it's got a little cantilever. And this is all stamped sheet metal too. It's just, wow. And this, you know, I was putting this on Weapons Guild, talking about how difficult this is to machine. And these guys were like, oh no, you just use it. Like, no, this is, I'm sure they had some kind of weird machine where they actually pivoted around these points and they had some kind of strange cutter and it just did this. I don't know, but it's, in 2024 America, it's difficult for me to envision how they did that. I guess I could figure it out if I put a gun to my head, but anyway, this, if you look in here, you can actually see the welds inside here. I don't know if you can see that from there. I'm going to take this little camera over here, little GoPro. See all that? So here, they weren't that concerned. Now they did smooth it down on the outside, so you can't tell that that's welded here. But on the inside, you definitely can see they left the weld. And I don't know, God, I don't know what the hell they did. I wish I knew what kind of welders the Germans had in 1942. But that's a beautiful little weld. That was not done with an oxyacetylene torch, unless somebody was just miraculously good with it. I don't know. But just this thing is it's otherworldly for something that came out of the time frame, you know. Just to think that far outside of the box. But you know, that's one thing Germans are always good at, is thinking really outside the box. Any car guys out there ever mess with a Volkswagen? What is it called? A Serato or a Corrado? I don't know. A strange little VW that not that many people know about. It was around the 80s or 90s, but the supercharger in that thing is just, how do you come up with this stuff? Like, are you people space aliens? I mean, it's just that crazy and weird. But just like this, coming out in 1942. This was unlike anything ever done before. Just, wow. I know, you're not supposed to sit here and go all gaga over a freaking machine gun, but sorry, that's who I am. And now I guess I can at least see what this, see how this goes. It's this way. This way. God. Stuff all wants to slide around and not stay in position. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's a little piece I was talking about where they have a little bump that comes out to act as a stop for this machined piece, which has a pretty tight tolerance. And then they actually have a little machined, see that? Little machined slot there to make it just absolutely perfect. So that's pretty neat. To me. Not to a normal person. So, as you might know, the German MG42 is a recoil-operated gun, and that means the whole barrel and everything moves back and forth when it's being fired. You know what? We could shoot this thing. Why not? Shoot one round out of it anyway. I mean, look at this. This handle is even bent up sheet metal. I don't know how on earth you bend this all around and then make this is all one piece. It's like, wow, how do you do that? It's crazy. But one thing about it being recoil operated, so you have the mass of all the barrel, all the stuff coming back, and I've never taken one apart before, and I never noticed this inside there. There's this actual spring-loaded plunger, which takes the energy of all the barrel and everything coming back, because you don't want it to beat the crap out of the receiver. So that's what that little thing is for. I never had noticed that before. It's down inside the gun. Yeah, it's off to the side there. Yeah, see that's got a, I guess that's supposed to be a bearing. Yeah, it doesn't turn that well. Yeah, you can see this gun has had a little bit of use to it. It's been around. But wow, what a system. Yeah, I gotta be careful. Oh, don't want to hurt my baby here. So anyway, can you hear the rain? It's raining pretty hard right now. So the barrel actually comes back just because of the recoil energy of the round. I'm gonna have to stop because I know this is too loud. I'll be back. Okay, I guess this will work. So what I was saying is, before the monsoon, is this is a recoil operated gun, which means the force from the recoil of the round going off is what moves everything back. But it also has a booster, so it's really kind of recoil operated and gas operated. Here's the booster, and these things get rusty from the old corrosive rounds, but not this part. That's obviously stainless steel. This gun, and this is really strange, this parts kit, formerly gun, this was made by Beretta. I mean, how weird is that? Can you imagine the Germans going to the Italians, and this was made in, there's actually, it looks like it's laser engraving, but they didn't have laser engraving in 1969, but this has 6-69. If anyone knows how that was engraved, because I looked it up, and laser engraving was, well, the laser was invented in 1958, 59, but as far as using it for engraving, I would not imagine. I guess they could have by the 60s. And a company like Beretta could have had the means to come up with that, to afford it, whatever. But yeah, these are really, really strange ways of locking. This is very, again, German out of the box thinking. The way these lock in, it's like just crazy stuff. And you know, I'm sure some of you know there, hopefully a lot of you know the story of the HK roller delay lock, because they figured out they were using this sort of method for the STG 45, I guess. It was initially gas operated. They figured out that it kind of it worked without the gas, just because this had a mechanical disadvantage to move these rollers in and become unlocked. And you know, that was delayed blowback. I don't know if that was the first delayed blowback. Could have been, but the Germans figured it out from their gas operated gun. That's kind of neat. But this is again, for 1942 to come up with stuff like this is like, wow. Now, this gun, this newer gun, the MG 42/59, they lowered the rate of fire because, you know, crazy rate of fire on these things. I don't know, I guess it's terrifying, and yeah, you can rip up a lot of stuff if it's close together, but in general, you know, machine guns, you don't want to rip off ammo that fast. It's a logistical pain in the butt if you got to come up with that much ammo to feed these things. I was going to show you the difference between the bolt on the original gun versus the old one, and because it's interesting, like lots of interesting stuff right here. Oh, come on. Yeah. You know what? How about you stay in there and help me? How's that for an idea? Nope. Alright, well, we won't do that today. So you can just see how the cross section of this bolt, I'll pull it back a little. You can just see the difference between this big monster bolt here and this little dinky one. Yeah, this is just a cylindrical cross section, and this got this big giant fat rectangle. This bolt has got to be twice as heavy as this one. You know, for recoil operation, weight, more mass means slower moving, which means lower rate of fire. Let's go shoot it now. Enough talking. Right, time to go shoot. Did I do that again? Yeah, I did. I want to close when I do that. There we go. All right. The only way to get an MG42 to fire a single shot is you got to put one round in the feed tray. No other way. There we go. Alrighty, folks. Fire in the hole. Let's fire another one. Here, right there. Oh. Fire in the hole. Ow, hot. Like that, Edwin? Burned my finger just for you. That didn't burn. Pretty cool. God. All right, folks. I hope you appreciated this look at the MG42. Hopefully you learned what a Clico is. Maybe you already knew. Again, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear some Clico horror stories, because most of the time you got to use these, you're doing some pretty serious work. They're very handy, though, I'll tell you what. Oh, and a heartbreaker about this whole thing is all this stuff was kind of thrown in a box. So, like, some of the sharp steel pieces kind of braided this thing. And this was perfect before, and now Now it's got scratches on it. I know. But I wanted it perfect, but whatever. This is another interesting thing the Germans came up with. This is the sear that lets the bolt go, and if you're sitting there firing, and if you're not holding the trigger down really forcefully, and you start to, you get tired and you let your finger go, this doesn't come back up. Instead, this pops up, and the bolt hits it, and that allows that to come up. So that's pretty neat. They figured that out, and this has been copied for the M240 and 240. I think the 249 does it too. I'm not positive. Anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate you as always. Like, subscribe, tell all your friends, and hopefully you'll see my other sheet metal gun video very soon. Take care. Have a good one.